I think that there is a lack of awareness to the public and the taxpayers about what's actually going on here with the union, because what is actually happening is this is a money laundering system. I'm a special education teacher from Bucks County, Pennsylvania. I'm also a mom and a wife, and I teach in public school and middle school. And I have been teaching for 10 years, and it's really the most rewarding career that I think you could possibly have. When I first became a teacher, I really didn't have any knowledge about the teachers union. I was approached in my classroom after school by a veteran teacher, and she came to me and just kind of informed me, hey, this is what the teachers union does. Here's the paperwork. Everyone is doing it. There was no resource or no opposing or alternative option that was given to me. I would assume that the union was doing their best to have the best interest of the teachers in mind. So I really didn't have any issue with them. In June of 2021, right after COVID and everything was going on in the country, I found a statement that came out by the PSEA, which is the Pennsylvania State Education Association. They were in favor of having vaccine mandates for all public school educators. And they were speaking on behalf of all 178,000 union members. And it shocked me because no one had ever asked what my opinion was, or there was no survey sent out, and they were speaking on behalf of everyone. And it was something that I strongly disagreed with. I realized that, my money, my dues was going to fund and support these causes and these ideas. I felt like the one way that I could control things was where my money was going. I was paying about $150 a month to the union out of my paycheck. Your money is going there regardless of how you feel about it. And this applies to any school worker that is a union member. So not just teachers, but support staff, nurses, janitors, bus drivers, secretaries, anyone. So I decided that, okay, I'm going to really do my own research and find some resources and information about how I can leave the teachers union. I reached out to an organization called the Freedom Foundation, which is a nonprofit national organization who helps people leave their unions, and not just educators, but any union. And they really were the first ones that told me about my Janus rights and told me about how the union works and how my rights about leaving the union and how I can leave the union and when I can leave the union, all things that I really had no idea about.
The Supreme Court ruled today that government employees cannot be forced to contribute to a union they don't belong to.
The ruling gets rid of the so-called fair share fees that non-union members pay to unions who represent them in collective bargaining negotiations.
I was then put in contact with a professional alternative to the union that I could also join that would represent me if I had workplace issues. They were not taking money from politics, and they were really just focusing on protecting school workers. To me, it was a no-brainer to join them. The following school year after I had left the union, what became frustrating for me was seeing the union reps going around and going to new other teachers and new staff members and getting them to join the union. That was like kind of eating me up over time, saying, hey, that's happening to everybody. I decided that I was going to send an email to my entire school district, just let people know, hey, if anyone wants to learn about an alternative and about their rights, that they could reach out to me. Within minutes of sending the email, there were two things that happened. One is that I got a lot of emails of people who were appreciative and reached out right away. There were also people who I didn't even know in my district who were sending emails that were extremely hateful and calling me names. That kind of really blew my mind, because how someone who doesn't know me or know me as an educator equates being a union member with being a good educator. The following week, I was sent to HR. I said to the HR director, look, there's just no information out there. There's no resources for these people. I basically pitched her a couple ideas saying, I would be happy to hang up some flyers, put up some posters that she approved of. If the union is doing these things, why is it that I can't do those things and let people know what alternatives and options that they have? After the HR director said that it was okay, I then sent her the flyers that I would be putting up, and for her approval, which she did approve, someone reached out to me who was in the union and said, hey, Karin, they're telling people to pull your stuff down. And I said, what? What are you talking about? It blew my mind that was happening. I played by the rules. It really speaks to how much money is involved and how much power is involved and how fearful they are of people leaving. The unions have all this money collected by the dues. The union likes to say that they don't directly give to political candidates. And it's true, they don't directly give it to them, but they do give it to every organization or every political party that is related to that. They come up with these ideas that they want to have being pushed into schools. They then vote on them. Then these ideas and these agenda items get pushed down to the states. And then the states then push those onto the local unions that are in the schools, saying, okay, we want to see more of this. We want to see more social justice topics being pushed into classrooms. We're in favor of abortion, and we want to give more money to Planned Parenthood. These kinds of things don't really have anything to do with being a labor union or helping me as an educator, or anyone really as an educator. They mandate trainings for teachers that have to do with unconscious biases and racism in the classroom and all these kinds of things. It affects the teachers, which then affects how the teachers run their classrooms. It almost creates a division and a problem when there might not be one. I understand when people are afraid to speak out, because every school district's different. You might get more backlash than I got, or someone, might have a much more difficult time. No one can fire you if you're, doing a good job. Legally, you have a right to leave the union if you want to. And there are so many free supports that are out there that can support you and help you get through that. It's a growing community of educators that do feel this way. So you're really not alone in it. Since leaving the union, I am definitely in a better place about my decision, because I feel like I am in control of where my money is going, and I work really hard for my paychecks, and I want my money to go to places that I support and agree with. So I sleep way better at night knowing that I am not supporting organizations and political ideas that go against my beliefs.